It has been a while since we did one of these videos on book break, but I am here again, your book genie, to find you the book you have been looking for. So we asked you over on Instagram. If you're not following us on Instagram, why not? At Book Break UK, to keep up to date with all sorts of things like this. So we asked you on Instagram to send us your overly specific book requests, whether this was for the perfect next book you were looking to read, the perfect Christmas gift for someone in your life, and myself, along with the team, have spent days searching to track down your perfect books. So let's start with a couple of requests that were sent in from Jade Poppy. Firstly, for herself, she was looking for a Christmas comedy with love, friendship, and cozy vibes. And that one was a really easy pick. Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayliss. This is a book that I have just read. I actually buddy read this one with Carol Ann, and I will link below to the vlog of that as soon as it's live. This is a Christmas rom-com, and it's about a group of school friends reuniting for one of their weddings. So you get a lot of the friendship in here. It is of course also a romance, so you get the love, and it's set in a castle at Christmas, so very cozy vibes. Lots of mulled wine drinking in this one. We did quite a lot of mulled wine drinking while reading the book as well. So Jade, this is your perfect Christmas romantic comedy. Jade also had a request for her boyfriend. She said she has a boyfriend who hates reading and she really wants to get him into reading. So I'm actually cheating with this one. We've come up with two recommendations that could not be more different. The first one might be a bit more of a hard sell for your boyfriend. You'll see why in a second. But bear with me. XX by Ryan Hughes. Yes, this book is about 1,000 pages long, which might be off-putting to someone who says that they hate reading. However, this is a very different kind of reading experience from anything your boyfriend would have seen before. Ryan Hughes, the author, is a graphic designer, and so he incorporates a lot of design elements into the book. Look at all of this. It's really creative and unusual, so that might just intrigue your boyfriend. I have got a second suggestion. For a much smaller book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This is really fun and funny and accessible. Your boyfriend might already have seen one of the adaptations, so he might already be a fan, and this book just can't fail to make him laugh. So you could try slipping this one under the Christmas tree. Rachel's Library had a similar request. She was looking for a present for an almost 17-year-old girl with no interest in reading. So again, you could try either of the two I just mentioned, or how about the Atlas 6? I would say when it comes to teenagers who aren't yet into reading, all they need in their lives is book talk. So if you get her onto book talk, she might find her way into the reading community, and then she's gonna want to read the book that everyone's reading, and that book is The Atlas 6 by Oliver Blake. Years of Reading wanted a book with messy families, unreliable narrators, but she wasn't looking for any historical fiction. So I've got an easy choice for her, Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. This is a contemporary thriller about a very dysfunctional family reuniting for the grandmother's birthday. This is a family that do not get on. There are years of bad blood between them, and when this birthday takes place on a remote island on which the family are trapped for hours overnight with no way back to the mainland, one by one, members of this family start to die. So this is an Agatha Christie inspired thriller. You're looking for an unreliable narrator? Daisy Darker is a very unreliable narrator. I won't say any more about that because you're going to have to read the book to find out. For more suggestions, I have a whole video on books about dysfunctional families, so I will link to that one below. Lost in the Pages 8 wanted a historical family saga with some romance similar to the Seven Sisters series by Lucinda Riley, but definitely didn't want any magic or supernatural elements. So for that, I'm recommending Soul Sisters by Leslie Loco. This is a sweeping family saga about two friends with a shared family history. They have been brought up in Edinburgh, but in this book they go back to South Africa to trace the roots of Kemi, one of the friends. Bedlam Books wanted a wintry book featuring witches and folklore. For that, I'm recommending Hare House by Sally Hinchcliffe. This is packed full of witches and folklore. It's about a mysterious unnamed narrator running away from her past who comes to rent a cottage on the grounds of this big estate. It's very wintry and chilling. At some point they all get snowed in and rumours of witchcraft are in the air. Bookworm Escapes is looking for a book with a morally grey, fierce female main character. A book to look out for is Becky by Sarah May, coming next year. That one is about a journalist working for tabloid newspapers in the 90s who will stop at nothing to rise to the top. But seeing as that book isn't out yet, you can't get your hands on that one just now, I've got another suggestion, something quite different, which is Luster by Raven Leilani. The main character in this book is Edie, who is morally grey in a different way. She is just trying to survive, but the decisions that she makes are questionable, to say the least. So Edie is struggling. She is messing up in her job. She feels like it's a dead-end job anyway. She's fed up of being the only black girl in the office, and she ends up getting into this very, very messy relationship with a man in a semi-open marriage. I think you will love Edie as a character. She has all of the fierceness that you're after. She's also vulnerable and makes mistakes a lot of the time. The moral greyness really applies to all of the characters in this book. They all make decisions that you might not quite be able to stand behind a lot of the time, and that's what makes it so interesting to read. The Ink Drinker likes books that have stories within the story, and Trust by Hernan Diaz is a story within a story within a story within a story. Trust is actually divided up into 4 books, each with their own separate title page, and each new book that you read retells a story that you are becoming more familiar with, but in a new way, and each one gets you closer to what the truth of this story might actually be. I agree with you. Stories within stories are fantastic. I actually have a whole video here on Book Break on books within books, which I will link to below if you want more recommendations. Brooke LC4 is looking for a Christmas present for her mum, who just needs something light, cheery, and humorous. So you could get her either or both of these books by Alexandra Potter. Confessions of a 40-something F-Up is about a woman in her 40s whose life suddenly falls apart and she finds herself not quite where she thought she would be, but she strikes up this unlikely friendship with an older woman called Cricket, who is a widow and whose life also doesn't look how she had hoped, and the two of them teach each other a lot about finding the joy in life. So it's a moving, really laugh-out-loud, funny book. One good thing is Alexandra Potter's next novel. This is about a newly divorced woman who moves to the countryside for a fresh start and adopts a dog, and on her various dog walks she meets all these different characters, each with their own stories to tell, and you learn these really heartwarming, uplifting stories about each of these different people. Elsa CF wanted a happy Christmas story, but not set in the countryside or by the coast. And it's really funny when you said that, because I realized so many Christmas books are set in the countryside or by the coast. So this was a bit of a struggle. But I have found you Together by Christmas by Karen Swan, which is set in the city of Amsterdam. This is a happy Christmas romance, just what you're after. It's also got a bit of a mystery element. Our main character has a secret in her past, and the way that the central couple meet for the first time is because the main character is left a mysterious parcel, a note written in a book, and so she tracks down the book's author to ask for help. Lost in the Pages 8 is also looking for a present for a middle-aged man who is obsessed with music, particularly the Beatles and Bob Dylan, and prefers reading non-fiction. So I'm going to recommend that you buy this person Should I Stay or Should I Go by James Ball. This is a non-fiction book and it's very, very funny. James Ball is a journalist, and in the book he seriously answers questions posed by famous songs, such as, what is love? How do you solve a problem like Maria? What is war good for? It's very, very funny and a great Christmas gift. Mrs. Bookworm 5 asked for a thriller that makes her go, what? Again, this is a theme that I have made a whole video on, books that will blow your mind, so I'll link to that one below. The recommendation in particular I'm going to give you is The Other Side of Night by Adam Hamdy. This is a thriller with a twist that totally defies genre. It's a thriller, it's also speculative fiction, it's also a love story, it's also a bunch of other things thrown together that will make you go, what? I recommend picking it up without knowing anything else beyond what I've just told you, and I guarantee you will have the reaction you were looking for. The Pundit wants supernatural but friendly characters, and you will find those in Blackwater Sister by Zen Cho. To be honest, the supernatural character in here isn't exactly friendly. She's pretty bossy. She is the ghost of our main character's grandmother. She has started showing up as a voice inside our main character's head because she wants to send her granddaughter on a mission to avenge the deity, the Blackwater Sister. Bookish Burbling wants to buy a present for a sassy medical student who loved The Pull of the Stars. So The Pull of the Stars is a beautiful historical fiction novel by Emma Donoghue. I'm going to recommend another beautiful historical fiction book by Emma Donoghue. And just like The Pull of Stars, this one has a medical theme. Our main character is a nurse. This book has just been adapted into a film starring Florence Pugh, and it's about a nurse who is sent to watch over a little girl who claims not to have eaten at all for months, and yet is miraculously alive and healthy. Some people in the village think that she is a living miracle, others think that she is a fraud, and it's up to our main character, the nurse, to watch over her and find out what is going on. And finally, what Rachel is reading is looking for something very simple, a happy ending, and so I'm going to circle all the way around to where we started and recommend Meet Me Under the Mistletoe Again by Jenny Bayliss. The main characters in this book have gone through some hardships in their life, and they have got obstacles to cross throughout the course of this book, but I don't think it's a spoiler to suggest that a Christmas rom-com does have a happy ending. Rachel, again, I have a video just for you. I will link below to a video I've made before on books with happy endings, so you can look for even more suggestions. If you're one of the people who had sent in requests, then please do let me know in the comments below if you are happy with the book that we recommended you. If anyone else would like to ask for personalized recommendations, we will do our best in the comments to find you your perfect book. I will link here to a playlist of all of the other times we have done this on Book Break, so you can go and see all of our other overly specific book recommendations. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for new videos every week. And I'll see you next time.